Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another car talk with Zay. I want to rename the series low-key because I feel like it's kind of generic and it's not like very, like, you know what I mean, like not very original to the channel. So I'm sure we'll think of something, but today I wanted to go over a topic that a lot of athletes struggle with, and I used to, but still kind of struggle with to this day. And that's the process of trial and error. So, I'll tell you a little story real quick about how I came across using the process of trial and error, and everyone uses it at some point in their life, even if it's just, even if it's not for sports, it could be for different things like your job or just something that's important to you that you're trying to figure out what you want to do or how to solve a problem. But main thing for me is swimming, obviously. It's a channel about swimming in gym and just my life in general. But I'll take you back a couple of years. So I think this was around when I was like 14 years old. I found that I was very uncomfortable swimming freestyle, and I couldn't figure out why that was. Like every time I'd swim, especially 100, it just felt really uncomfortable to swim. And I'm not talking about like it was just because it was hard and I didn't want to do hard thing. It was just like my stroke felt really uncomfortable and unnatural to me. And I couldn't figure out why that was. And ultimately, I had decided that it was my pool that was making me feel real uncomfortable with the way I was swimming. And so I went through a whole year's, like 2 years journey trying to figure out what was wrong with my pool. I asked coaches, I went online, I researched, I did all this junk, all this mess. And at a particular meet, a particular national meet, I ended up dropping like a second and a half out of nowhere. And it was because the way, I don't know what happened. I sometimes have these things at national meets where I just figure something out. Like it just comes to me. Like at that meet, it was my freestyle. I literally, like the way I entered, the way I was pulling on the water, like felt way different. And so I just did it the entire meet and dropped a whole bunch of time in like everything. I think I dropped like 4 seconds in my 2 free. I dropped 1.5 on my 100 free. I dropped a good amount on my 50 free too. I don't remember, it was like 0.4 maybe. And I mean, you could say that it was taper that worked. Well, I don't really believe it. I don't think it was taper, because if you were in my shoes, you could definitely tell that there was more at play than just the amount of rest I got, right? So and then after that meet, I went and I tried my hardest to replicate that stroke. And I was having zero success. I couldn't figure out why the pull wouldn't work, if I was doing something wrong with the catch, or what was happening, right? And I just ended up getting so frustrated and so disappointed because if I just knew if I could master that feeling that I felt at nationals, I could drop a whole bunch more time if I just trained with it. But I ended up not being able to do it, and I had to just bail on it, or it just take up my entire season. And so, come, let's say last year-ish, I kind of just, after going through all the works, trying to trial and error everything, I came to the conclusion that it just wasn't going to work. That no matter what I tried with this, I wasn't ever going to get it to be comfortable. And that, and again, I was super disappointed. Like I wanted to have a really good stroke. I wanted to do something that was comfortable to me, and I just couldn't do it. Right? It was impossible. Until a couple months ago, I shouldn't even say a couple months ago. I feel like it was last Nationals, where it was before my 100 free. Nothing had been working that year. Like I got my back injured. My fly was terrible, and my free was not lining up to be anything better. And I was just so fed up. I was just done with the whole meet entirely. I was just trying to go up, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna swim it the way I want to. I'll abide by let's just do 3 rules. And those 3 rules were I have to keep. Instead of focusing on getting the perfect catch or doing this with my stroke, I was gonna abide by 3 rules, and that was it. First rule was I had to keep my forearm in line with my elbow. Second one was a specific way that I had to pull. It was a specific direction I had to pull in. And then my recovery, I heard something online that said your recovery is supposed to be super like loose and flexible, and I never really got that until this meet. But we'll get to that in a second. And so when I put down these 3 rules, I ended up going. I ended up dropping a huge amount of time, but I ended up dropping time, and I ended up getting on a relay at Nationals. And so, come this year, when I started abiding by these 3 rules I put in place, with all the knowledge that I've gained from doing trial and error, it started working out perfectly. And one of the main things that pushed me to advance in my freestyle was the recovery I was talking about. It wasn't even my pull. It was my recovery that was hindering my progress with my catch and hindering my progress with my pull. So the reason as to why your trial and error isn't working is that you're either not you're not applying the knowledge that you've gained from trial and error. Because if you think about it, when you're doing trial and error, you're trying things over and over and over again. And if you're not treating every failure as a success in some sort of way, then you're not gaining anything out of trial and error. You're just failing to fail. So you need to take the knowledge that you have from every error, every failure that you have, and you have to try and apply it in some way, right? Or make a rule out of it, like I did. And sure, it may not be perfect, but it will hold you over until you can find something that works. Other thing is you're thinking too narrow. Like the entire story I just told you, I was focusing on my pull, right? I was focusing on my catch in freestyle. When the whole problem, it didn't even lie in my pull. It lied in my recovery. And even though my recovery isn't perfect now, it's a whole lot better. I'm able to up my tempo easier. I'm able to catch the water easier. And all those things contribute to a faster freestyle. Like this year, I'm almost a second and a half faster in the 50 free than I was last year, off of relays. I haven't gone all out in a 50 freestyle as of yet. But I went at 25.9 without a suit. But even then, that's significantly quicker than anything I did last year. And so you guys got to keep this in mind. When you're doing trial and error, you need to, when you're doing trial and error, you need to keep your mind open and learn. That's the whole point. You're not just, oh, I failed, so this doesn't work. It's, no, I failed, but this part kind of worked out, and now I know that this part doesn't work because of this. I can take this part and I can. It's a puzzle. You have to keep it moving, and you have to keep an open mind. And I could have been, okay, well, if all of this hasn't worked for my pool and I'm not really figuring out anything else, then maybe it's time to move on to a different part that affects my pool, right? You have to keep an open mind. It's a huge puzzle. You're not going to find all the pieces right in front of you. You have to look around. So that's the segment I got for trial and error. I kind of just wanted to share that with you guys because I know a lot of people in sports and just life in general struggle with finding with just problems, just problems in life. And trial and error is one of the most effective methods to get through those problems. So I hope you found some value out of that. Now that we're done with that segment, as you know, we're on the drive to practice, and it's taper week. We kind of tapered last week, but I don't even know if I can call it taper because he was doing pace shit, and obviously we're gonna sprint because we're sprinters. But it felt like a good amount, like a lot. But it was probably low yardage, and the way he likes to do it, he likes to break it up into a bunch of smaller sections, so it feels like a lot when it's not really a lot. But yeah, we have. But it's definitely taper week now because it's the week before Nationals. I leave on Monday of next week for Ocala. So hopefully we do good. You may be wondering, is my fly back to normal? Not entirely, but I think I'm making some good headway. That's also another thing with trial and error. Once you figure out your method, because I feel like there's different methods for trial and error, and like different people perceive it differently, but there's always like a core foundation, a core base, right? But once you figure out your way of doing things, it's easier. Like, this butterfly's been plaguing me for forever, but now that I'm able to apply the certain foundation of my trial and error, I can more effectively pinpoint what I've been doing wrong, right? And with a really technical stroke like butterfly, it takes a longer time, obviously, than just working at a freestyle pool. But it's been going better. I don't think it's going to be perfect before Nationals, obviously not. But we're making some headway. I kind of last year I won B final. I don't think I'm going to win B final at all. I'd like to make B or C final just to get back into the groove of swimming sprint fly competitively. But I'm like comparable to my freshman year self. That might be even like I might be a little better than my freshman year self. Like summer of freshman year. So yeah. Anyways, we're on taper practice. My coach has been doing these like tournaments. What in the world is this guy spraying out of his truck? My coach has been doing these tournaments, right? At afternoon practice. What is this? What is going on? Oh shoot. Oh, okay, it's construction. Alright, sorry guys. But he's been doing these tournaments at afternoon practice, because we still have afternoon practice, just to keep us ready for like the prelim finals mode, so we can, so we're not like, I guess in his words, our nervous system doesn't become untrained to deal with prelim and finals meets, which I don't really mind. I don't really care, but they're usually low yardage, just technique and shit. Anyways, we've been doing these tournaments. They're usually like 25s. Like last week it was, no, sorry, 2 weeks ago. Wait, no, sorry, a week ago it was a 20. On like Wednesday, it was a 25 freestyle kick, and it was a bracket, and we went down that bracket, and we raced each other, and I ended up winning, even though my freestyle kick is terrible on its own. I only won because I push off the wall so violently, and I get so much distance off the wall that it makes up for my atrocious freestyle kick. But on Friday we did 25 freestyle, and I was in the final four for it, but we haven't finished it yet because our set took so much time. So this Monday, so today we're gonna finish it. I'm gonna try to get some recording footage of it. Last week I didn't, our last video I didn't get any swim recording because I literally forgot my camera was in my bag and I just didn't bring it out. So hopefully today we can get some good footage for y'all. But yeah. The thing is, this video is like, these segments are like 60 minutes. Like, they're like a long time. So I don't know if how I'm gonna edit this. I wish I just had like a editor. Like, you know, like I'd have to pay $1 million to do. But maybe AI does that shit in the future. But yeah, that's all I got for this segment. Really, we're kind of preparing for nationals, doing what we got to do. So yeah, I haven't decided if I'm going to keep these card talks a separate thing. I think I might keep them a separate thing, and then I'll add like, I'll post like 2 videos a day, because this doesn't need much editing. It's just a long ass interview, and this guy is going beyond slow. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I gotta go. But I think I'll keep these separate, and then I'll do some swim recording video. Maybe I'll do it on the ride home. Maybe I'll recap on the ride home. Some small recap on the ride home. That's what we'll do. That sounds right. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. Guess it will be a double upload today, hopefully, if I get my camera working correctly. So thanks for listening. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay blessed. Love you. Bye-bye.